Hello everybody, hope you are doing well. In today's video we are going to be implementing the interest screen, which is this screen. And as you can see, when you start clicking on one of them, you select it. And once you reach 5, as you can see, you can click on next. If you are less than 5, you cannot. So hope you find this exciting, and let's start coding. Okay, and first thing I want to do, as you can see, we need a model for interest like we did for pin and board. So first thing, let's go to our model folder. Let's create a new file from template. It will be a Swift file, and let's call it interest. Okay, perfect. After that, let's create a struct that we will call interest. It will be identifiable, hashable, and codable. And as everyone, we need an ID, so let ID of type string. And as you probably can guess, we got this, which is an item name, we got an image name. So let's add var item name of type string. Then we got image name, so var image name of type string. And as you can see, some of them are selected, others are not. So we need a boolean that tells us if it's selected or not. So we need var is selected of type boolean. Okay, and that should be all for our model. The next thing I want to do is go to my view model. And here, as you can see, I need an array of interest. So first thing, I need an array of interests. So var interests of type array of our newly created model, what is called interest. And here I'm going to paste this. So I'm not going to rewrite it because as you probably can guess, there is a lot of them. For the item name, it's from our asset folder. So if I go here and do a little search, I will find, for example, sports car or wallpaper that are here, for example, wallpapers. If I search, for example, for anime in my asset folder, I will find that I got anime. Okay, perfect. And the second thing I want to do is, it's something I don't really need to do, but it facilitates the work later. So I will have an array of the selected interests. So I will add also var array of selected interests, and it will be an array of interest, and by default it will be an empty array. Okay, perfect. Now that this is done, let's go to our authentication under view, and let's create a new file from template. We will start by creating the view. So it will be a SwiftUI view, and we will call it interests view. Okay, perfect. And as always, we will be passing the view model. So we will have @bindable private var view model of type login view model. And because it's private, we need an initializer. So self.view model equal bindable wrapped value of a view model. We need to add the missing argument. So here we need to pass login view model. And I want to be able to go to interest view from my add country view. So in my add country view, when I click on next here, I want to display my new view, so interests view, and I will pass the view model. And to be honest, unlike what I did here, I'm not going to display the back button, so I think I don't need it, so I will do dot back button hidden, so navigation bar back button hidden. So hopefully now I'm able to go to my interest view from add country view. So let's wait for it, and hopefully everything will be working perfectly. Okay, which is perfect. Now let's start implementing our interest view. Or before we start, let's place our interest view inside the navigation stack inside in the preview, so I can see the toolbar. And when I say the toolbar, I'm talking about this. Okay, and from my add country view, I am going to go to dot toolbar. I'm going to copy this. Okay. And before I paste it, as you can see, this is a scroll view where you don't see also the scroll indicator. So we got here a scroll view where dot scroll indicators is dot hidden, and then we will paste our toolbar, and instead of number of screen 5 it will be 6 this time, and instead of view model dot country equal Tunisia, it will become dot selected interest will be back to empty array if we decide to go back, so no one is selected, in other words. And for dismiss, I will display add environment slash dot dismiss private var dismiss, and hopefully now I'm able to go back and everything will be working perfectly. Okay, so let's wait for it, and hopefully everything will be working perfectly. Okay, perfect. The second thing, I want to create a V stack, and then I will have, as you can see, a text, then another text, then this V grid. So here I will have a V stack. I will give it a spacing of 20. Okay, perfect. And first I got this text. So text, what are you interested in? I will give it a font of dot title 2, a font weight of semi-bold, and I will give it a little bit of padding of dot top. After that I got this text, so text pick 5 to customize your home feed. Okay, perfect. And after that, as you can see, we got this V-grid, but as you can see, something very interesting here is that, as you can see, this button is above our scroll view and above our V stack. So As you probably have guessed, we need to place our scroll view inside a Z stack, so I need to embed inside the Z stack. Okay, and above all this, I need to have this button, so, or I think it will be a navigation link, more likely, so navigation link with destination and label, and for label it will be text, next, with a font of dot headline, a font weight of semi-bold. Okay, perfect. For the background, as you can see, when the selected item R5, it's red, but if it's not, but if the selected items are less than 5, it's system gray 5. So here I will add dot background, and I will do a text. So if view model dot selected interest dot count is more than 5, in that case it will be dot red, else it will be color dot system gray 5. Okay, perfect. I think it looks good. The second thing also, for the foreground style, as you can see here, it's black, but when it becomes red, it becomes white. So here I will also have dot foreground style. And also we will do a test. So if view model dot selected interest dot count is more than 5, in that case it will be dot white, else it will be dot black. Okay, perfect. Another thing I want to do is I wanted to take 0.9 of the whole width of the screen. To do so, I need to have a geometry reader, so I will embed my Z stack inside another Z stack, and I will going to call it geometry reader, and will have proxy in, and I'm going to use this to give it the frame, so frame with width and height. For width it will be proxy dot size dot width multiplied by 0.9, and for height it will be 60. Okay, perfect so far. Okay, and one of the things also I want to do is this is in the bottom, so in my Z stack I will give it an alignment of dot bottom. Okay, and perfect so far. Okay, let's leave it this way for now and continue first working, or probably I will give it a little bit of padding of dot bottom. Okay, perfect. I want it in the center and I don't really want to waste a lot of time on it, so let's embed this inside an A stack and place a spacer before it and a spacer after it, so it's in the center. Okay, perfect. I think I also have a corner radius, so as you can see, so let's give it a clip shape of rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 20. Let's give it a corner radius of 30. I think it will be better. Okay, and I think this button, this padding isn't working for me for some reason, so okay, this way is a lot better. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing I want to do is implement this lazy V-grid. So as you can probably guess, the first thing we need to do is add an array of grid items. So let's go to our login view model, and because we got 3 columns, so it will have 3 columns. So here we will have let grid items. It will be an array of grid item, and here we will have dot init of dot flexible and the spacing of 1. Okay, and we are going to copy this and paste it 2 more times. Okay, and here instead of foundation I will import SwiftUI because grid item is in SwiftUI. Okay, perfect. Now I can go to my interest view and start implementing it. So after my text I can start working on my lazy V-grid. So I will have a lazy V-grid with columns, and we will call our view model dot grid items. Then we have our content, and by the way I can also add a spacing of 1. Okay, perfect. Now as you can see, this is an array of interest, so we need to do a for each of view model dot interest, and this will return interest in. And now that we are getting our interest, all we need is to display a VStack where you got this image and this text. So a VStack, and inside this VStack we got an image first where you display interest dot image name, and for some reason the auto-completion isn't working, so okay, and it will be dot resizable, and okay, perfect. I'm going to give it a frame with width and height. I don't need the alignment, and for width and height, it's as you can see, it's a rectangle, so it's the same width and same height. I'm going to give it the width of the screen divided by 4, so I will use proxy.size dot width divided by 4, and I will do the same for height, so proxy.size dot width divided by 4. Okay, hopefully everything is perfect, and as you can see it got a corner radius, so I will give it dot clip shape of a rounded rectangle, with a corner radius of 20. And hopefully everything is perfect. Okay, perfect. And after that, as you can see, we got a text. So let's display after my image a text where we display interest dot item name, I think let's call it. And I'm going to give it a font of dot subheadline, a font weight of semi-bold, and I'm going also to give it a padding of dot vertical, because as you can see we need more padding here. So hopefully everything is perfect, just similar to here. Okay, which is perfect so far. Now the second thing I want to do is, as you can see here, for example, when it's selected, as you can see, I got this above the image. So I need to place the image inside the Z stack. So let's embed this inside the Z stack. And for my Z stack, it will have an alignment of dot top trailing. Okay, perfect. And as you can see above it, we got this, it's a rounded rectangle, and above it, it's an image. So here we will have a rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 5. I will give it a frame with width and height of 25. And above it, I will use overlay. This time we can still also use a Z stack. And above it, I want to display an image with a check mark from our SF symbols, image with system name, and it will be check mark. And for some reason this keeps happening in this tutorial. See, every time it displays two images or it's written twice, which is annoying. And I'm going to give it a foreground style dot white so we can see it. Okay, hopefully now we will be able to see it, which is perfect. This rounded rectangle will probably need a padding of something like 10. So it becomes closer to what we got here. Okay, perfect. And the second thing, I shouldn't be able to see this because as you probably know, when I created my view model, as you can see, by default every one of them is elected of false. So I shouldn't be able to see them for now. And to do so I need dot opacity. And here I need to check if interest dot is selected. I think I wrote it this way, so dot is selected. If is selected is equal to true, I want to be able to see it, so it's 1. Else it's invisible, so it's 0. Let's wait for it and hopefully. Okay, perfect. As you can see, I cannot see any of them, and the reason behind this, like I said, in my view model, all of them are by default false, and even my selected item is by default an empty array, so it makes a lot of sense. Now the second thing I want to be able to do is like in here, if I click on it, it becomes selected. If I click on it again, it's not selected. So I need to be able to toggle this is selected. So I need to add a tab gesture on my Z stack. So dot on tab gesture. And here I need to know the index of the one that was selected. So if let index will be equal to view model dot interests dot first indexed apologize, so dot first okay, dot first indexed okay, and what did he suggest of me? Okay, and instead of testing on item name, I prefer to test on the interest. So $0 equal interest. Okay, perfect. In that case, view model dot, I want to toggle it. So view model dot interest with that index. So the interest that was clicked, I want to have is selected toggle. So is selected will be dot toggle. So if it's true, it will become false. If it's false, it will become true. So now if I click on this, as you can see, I can see it. If I click on it, I cannot. So okay, as you can see, it's working perfectly, but we still got a little problem. If you see, for example, here, if I reach 5, this one didn't become red. Despite, as you know, if I go here, I did if selected interest is more than 5, it should be red, but it didn't. And the reason is because we are not changing our selected interest array yet. So here, when I do this, if I change is selected, I need to know if this became false, I need to take it from or remove it from my selected interest array. If it's become true, I need to append it. So to do so, I need to do a small test. So if a view model, apologize, okay. If view model dot interests indexed dot is, okay, I think it's this way, dot is selected is true. So if it's true, in that case, I need to append it. So I need to add another word, this interest, to my selected interest array. So view model dot selected interest dot append, and we add our interest. So we add interest, else in the other case we need to remove it because it means it became false. So view model dot selected interest dot remove at, and we give it the index. Okay, perfect. So let's wait for it to refresh. So now if I select 5, this should become red. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and for some reason it didn't become red, which is a little bit strange. So okay, it become when I choose 6, and the reason behind this is because my condition is wrong. It should be more than 4, so that in case of when it's 5 it's red, so it needs to be more than 4. Okay, an honest mistake. So now if I click 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, we are more than 4, so it becomes red. If we are less than 5, it's this color, so it's perfect. That's all I wanted to implement in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.